Hey everybody, and welcome back to GGWP, the Good Game Well Played podcast. I am one of your hosts, Lisa Blank.
And I'm Aubrey.
We are so glad to have everyone back with us today. We wanted to jump on for this week's podcast and talk about our big GameCon weekend that we had last weekend. My husband and I were at Alamo City GameCon here in San Antonio. And Aubrey and Derek, you guys.
Yeah, we went to PAX East in Boston.
Yes.
Spent a chilly weekend. Sometimes
was it super cold?
Very rainy. Yes, it was
Yeah.
cold. So Saturday it was 36-ish and
Ooh.
super rainy. And then the next
no.
day it turned up beautiful, like the sun came out, but it was 30 degrees.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
it was like
nice
65 and, it's always humid here. So,
yeah, and then when we got off the plane in San Antonio, it was like going through the little...
The gangplank or whatever they call it.
Yes, like the little walkway. It was like you could feel the heat. Like, it was oppressive.
Yeah, it's oppressive, yeah. So we just wanted to talk about all the games that we played and the people we saw at the convention. So mine was local, so obviously I knew a lot of the people that were there, which is always nice. First we got there a little late, but that's okay. And some of our gaming friends were knee deep in a game already, and so my husband and I just played something on our own for a little bit, but got to see Joe Fling from FlingCon and his crew. My boyfriend Dario, who I think I love Dario. I think he calls me his girlfriend because he doesn't remember my name, which is perfectly fine. But anyway, so I said hi to those guys, and Adam was there. He gives the best hugs. He does give the best hugs.
It's always very sweet.
Yes. And then said hi to Andrew Hartwell, who is the owner and coordinator for Alamo City GameCon. And so it's a great con that has kind of popped up post-pandemic and post-PAX leaving San Antonio. And we really like it. It's a good one, kind of right in between. We talked about how, Joe has his winter and summer, and then Alamo City is filled in the spring, and we have filled in the fall. And so pretty much every 3 months we get to go game locally. Yeah, and see all our friends, right? Saw Maddie from Dungeons of Drunk. She was there for a little bit, so that was nice to see her. And I'm sure I'm missing other people, but saw a lot of people that from the local community there.
That's excellent.
And got to game with some people. So yeah, it was super fun. Saw a bunch of vendors that were there and met some new amazing vendors. There's a guy, his name is Ian. Apologies that I've forgotten his last name because I just thought about it to talk about him. But Ian is a artist, and we actually bought a print from him that was of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for our son. Oh, and he does a bunch of like fan art kind of stuff. And so that was really, he does amazing work. And so we think he's going to, hopefully, we'll see, but hopefully he'll be at 210.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, and met the president and coordinator of ChupacabraCon, which is coming up.
I can't wait for that one either.
Yeah, that one's going to be fun.
I'm going to go play some
in May.
RPGs,
yeah.
I can't wait.
So, yeah.
Roll some dice.
It was awesome. It was nice. So, met him and bought like a little dice. You'll see it at D&D this week, but bought a little dice box to hold my fancy dice. So, yeah. But got to talk to a bunch of people, meet up with, and play games, of course. That's always the best part, And of course, in true now fashion, we started with NAR, because if you have not gotten your hands on the game called NAR, and it's KNARR, it's fabulous. Everybody needs to play that game. It's so nice.
Yeah.
So
and you were saying that someone you played with, was it Lance?
Yes. Yeah. So,
and apparently he's gotten his own copy since then.
Yes. Yeah. So Ryan and I started with that because it was just the two of us until the guys finished their bigger game. I don't remember what they were playing. It was something new that our friend John V had just purchased, and I don't think he liked it very much. But But again, I don't remember the name of it, because I wasn't playing it. But anyway, so Ryan and I just played NAR kind of on the side. And Lance kept looking over, what are you playing? What are y'all doing? And so then when they were finished, he came over and played with us for a minute and really liked that game.
Oh,
I think
awesome.
everybody that I've ever played it with has really enjoyed it. So, so it's a good one to show to everybody. And then he immediately ran out and grabbed it. I'm not sure, which shop he found it at, but he immediately grabbed it and has his own copy now because it's such a good game.
Everybody buy a copy.
Everybody buy a copy of No Mercy and Nar, and you'll be good to go. But yeah, but we've talked about Nar a bunch of times already on this platform. So, but great game. And actually, ran into Patrick, who we had met at FlingCon like a year ago, and then he was off playing other games, so I didn't get to play that with him, but he was really interested in it too. So,
cool.
Patrick, if I see you again, we need to get him to play that as well.
Carry it around in your pocket.
Yeah, I'm just gonna carry it around in my purse with me all the time.
I know,
that
it's
way,
like, hey, I have this.
Yeah, hey, I have Nar. Want to play? If I pass you on the street, I'm gonna pull out Nar.
I just casually happened to have this with me. It wasn't planned.
It wasn't planned, but it's a nice travel box because it's super small. It's not very big, so you can, literally throw it in your bag and have it so that, if you get stuck somewhere, you've always got a game. So we finished up Nar, the guys finished up their other game, and then our friend Greg, who I only met through our Thursday night Black Potion game nights.
He's a hoot.
He's a hoot. That is for sure. But Greg was doing a learn to play actually in one of the other rooms because they have at Alamo City, we are at La Quinta. Yeah. And so in their conference rooms, and so he has kind of everything separated out. And so in the learn to play room, Greg had set up Dune Imperium, which I've now played again since
Dune Imperium Uprising, right?
Uprising, yes, that's the new one. Yes. So we had played, I finally figured it out, that we had played a version of Dune.
Right.
But it wasn't this one. And so he showed us this Dune Imperium Uprising. And it was actually really fun once I kind of got the hang of it. And it was so nice because our friend John V was not playing. And so he came and sat by myself and another lady that we met. And so the two of us had no idea what we were doing. And so he kind of sat between us to help as well, which was nice. So that was such a
tremendous resource for everything.
Every game imaginable.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I played that. I know. We'll sit down and play it. It's so
no problem.
No problem. I'll teach you.
Teach whatever.
Whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then of course my husband kept telling me all the things about Dune that I never wanted to know, and I've never seen the movies. Sorry guys. Didn't watch the old ones. Didn't watch the new one.
Oh, they're good.
And are they?
The new one is good.
Is it?
I enjoyed it very much.
I'll have to watch it because I don't know anything. They're like, oh, you're Mozambique or who? I don't know. I don't even know the name of the characters. And they're like, oh, yes, that's the character you're playing. I don't know who these people are. I was Lady Somebody.
But you don't have to know.
No, you don't have to know that.
You don't have to know that stuff. It's just like any other game where it's kind of like asymmetrical. I guess you could call that asymmetrical. Yeah. So like everybody has their own abilities. So it could be anybody.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. But I guess if you have watched
it makes it fun.
It makes it more fun to know what you're talking about and to know that these characters can use these things and these can't. But it was a lot of fun because like you said, everybody has their own player mat. And so you're able to do your own things, but then you're working in conjunction and trying to help your other teammates. And so if one of you can't get to something or can't make something happen, I don't think that you can share resources. Your leader can. So like Lance was our leader. And so he could share resources with us to kind of make things happen if we needed help. But then once the Emperor got the sandworm, we were all done. That was the breaking point for us.
Well, I think that's really nice too because it's a cooperative when you play team, but it's also competitive.
But it's it's still competitive.
You're able to have the best of both worlds. One game.
Well, and Ryan was way behind, and so I was kind of thinking, well, he's not really a contender. He ended up winning. He was the one that pushed it over the edge to win. So who knew? And by then we were all starving. And so we decided to kind of take a break.
When you play board games, it's like your brain needs a break every now and then.
And we definitely, after Dune and Pyramid especially, because the guys had played the other heavy game, and then we played that one, and so we needed a break. So we went to dinner. Yeah, so when we walked out, I actually ran into Bill, who plays D&D with us at Black Potion. And so he was kind of roaming around, and I said, well, we're going to go grab some dinner, so we'll see. He's like, oh, well, I'm kind of hungry, so, oh, well, come on along. So we had a big group of us. It was Bill from D&D and Glenn, who we had talked about before. Yeah, and Lance and John and Ryan and I, we all went to dinner
Oh,
at this
how much fun.
oh yeah, went to dinner at this really great Indian place, and I've never had Indian food. Have you ever eaten Indian food?
I have.
Have you?
Yeah.
It was really delicious. I was surprised. I've never tried it because I've always thought I didn't like curry, but apparently I do. It was very good.
Surprise.
Maybe I just had never had good curry. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it was this really great Indian place that actually Lance and John like to go to. And but because it's kind of on another side of the city, they don't get to go to that often, and so that was Lance wanted to do that. Anyway, so then back to the hotel for more gaming.
Back to business.
Back to business. We had to go back and play more, which it had gotten so late because the heavier games, they take a lot of time, which I love because you're still playing a game. It doesn't matter how many I get to play. I just like to sit and play. But we ended the night with Abyss, which I had never played before. It was one of Lance's games actually, and so he taught us how to play Abyss, which was an easy game, but it took a while, but a good time had by all.
Time had by all. That's
it
all
didn't
that
really
matters.
matter. I mean, it was just a lot of fun. We had a great time. So, and like I said, it's always nice to see people that we don't get to see a lot. So tell me about PAX. I want to know, I know that y'all have already done a lot though.
Yeah, we've talked about it on YouTube a couple of times. We did like a little recap a little bit for the first part 1. And then the second video we did was more of like a come hang out with us kind of video. And I don't know. I don't want to say too much.
I know.
Because I know that Derek really wants to be part of this conversation.
Yes.
So, but it was a good time. It was different from last year.
Oh, really?
In that it felt smaller.
That's unusual because you would think that it would have been even bigger.
Yes, it felt smaller. Now, I don't know, like, not people-wise, but, like, vendor-wise, the setup-wise, felt smaller. So, and the tabletop, I mean, obviously, because it's primarily a video game convention.
Right, that one is, because it's both.
Right,
it's
because
both
it's
board
both.
games and video games.
There weren't a lot of newer games coming out, but that's this is a weird part of the year, this quarter, in that not a lot of games are, well, there are, but I mean, it's not like this huge push,
right?
Like in the third quarter.
I was gonna say, normally, like between summer, like when Gen Con happens in August, and moving into the fall cons, that's when you see the bigger push out of the game.
Exactly.
Game makers.
So there were a couple of, but I mean, I found it interesting. One thing I will say is that their Fire Tower had a booth, and that game has been out for a while.
Oh, really?
Yes. Have you ever played
I've never
Fire Tower?
heard of that. What is that?
Okay, so it is a game with these, you'd love it because it's got like these little crystals in it, the little orange crystals, and you try to protect your tower from the other person is trying to spread fire to your part of the board. Nice. So
burn it down.
Burn it to the ground. So it's a new-ish game, but it's not anything that I would have thought that they would have had. Not a new release game. Yeah, that they would have had a booth dedicated to Fire Tower. Man, they must have made bank because I saw that game everywhere.
Everybody had a copy in their bag.
Everybody had a copy. Like that to me stuck out because, like I said, it's a new-ish game, but to see like a Fire Tower, and it was a beautiful booth. But yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Can I ask if you saw our friends from Lethal Shadows?
I did. We saw them, and we went and said hi to Patrick.
Yes.
We bought some more minis from them that Derek's real excited about painting. So, but just really cool. There was one that's like a bard, but it's based on like a heavy metal band.
Nice.
So he's got like
not your traditional bard with like a
he's got
a
like
lyre
an electric
or whatever
guitar and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun to pick out some minis.
Mm-hmm.
So we did come home with a couple of things. We did have to rearrange our luggage a little bit,
of course, as always.
But we did. So we didn't have to buy a game bag this time. Like,
that's shocking.
that is, we are bad about going to cons and not bringing enough.
Right. Enough luggage space
back.
to get it all back.
And so we always end up, I've got like 4 board game bags.
Because you have to have something to carry them all back in.
Because I hate to put them in a regular suitcase because they get beat up.
Yes, I did that. I did that once because I learned my mistake. I learned from my mistake. They all get the little creases from the bars in the bottom. No matter what you do. They get beat up. So
we left really early on Monday, so we were able to spend all day at the con on Sunday.
That's really important when you go to cons. Like, you have to be very mindful of when you're headed in and out, because you don't want to miss it. I don't want to miss anything. Right. And especially if I paid, although thank goodness most of the cons that we go to are not exorbitant. Mm-hmm. But you paid to be there. I want to be there. I want to soak up as much as I possibly can.
And we closed it down on Sunday too.
Right. Well, it closes a little early on Sunday, right?
It closes at 4, I think, Eastern. And it might have closed at, no, I don't think it went to 6. It must have go to 4. Yeah. But we waited for the announcement and everything that PAX is now closed.
Get out.
Out of here. Even though they didn't say that, that's what they meant. And like, as we were like riding the escalator up to get out of the convention center, like the enforcers were like doing dances and stuff. Like, it's their day.
So excited to be done.
Yeah, their weekend was over. One of the highlights was we got to play a game that is banned from this table.
It is banned. I now know what she's talking about. It's Root.
It's Root.
And when you talk about it, you have to say it right, which y'all can laugh at me or not. I don't care. You have to say Root, because that's how it is. It is. We talked about the slog last week or the week before of Agricola. It is nothing.
It's a race. How can it be a slog?
To what Root is. And you know what's so funny? It's another one. I think that other people love it. Mm-hmm. And I just don't get the appeal.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, at Alamo City, we talked about our friend John called Agricola, we call it Misery Farm.
Misery Farm.
He lovingly referred to Art Nova for me as Misery Zoo. So now I have Misery Farm and Misery Zoo. And again, everybody loves Art Nova. I'm getting there.
That's another one we played.
Did you play Art Nova again?
And man, I never win games. I swept the floor.
That's amazing.
And it ended up being pretty close. I think it was 14-16. But like, I played the best game of Art Nova.
Well, mainly
everything came together.
I think Derek has every single 1,000 card. All of the 1,000 cards that are in that game. I'm pretty sure he has them memorized. So he handedly usually wins that game. But anyway,
but we play games that were generally not brought to our table.
That I don't prefer.
Right.
But in my defense, I will sit and play.
Oh yeah, you'll sit and play anything.
I will say Root.
Not Root.
Root. And I think the problem, it's a mental block maybe, because when we first learned Root, it was 11:30 at night at a convention. We were exhausted, and a guy even walked that we don't know. A guy walked by the table and said, "You're teaching them Root at 11:30. Do you have a death wish?"
Do you have a death wish?
So that is a quote from the guy who walked by our table, and maybe that's the problem. I have a mental block against this game.
Yeah.
But we played it again, and I still didn't like it any better. But I think maybe I just don't understand it.
Yeah, it's a little, like, the factions are a little difficult to, when you don't play them and you just kind of jump around.
Right.
It's kind of hard to get a grasp on, still with the Vagabond. I can't handle it. Derek likes to play the Vagabond.
That dirty little trash panda. He comes in and steals everything, and it's a lot.
But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like, that was the last game we played.
Oh, really?
Right before. Like, I think we had an hour to play, and we checked it out from the library, and we played it in an hour. Less than an hour. That's impressive. So, but we kind of knew what we were doing.
Y'all knew what you were doing.
And there was just the two of us.
If it was Ryan and I playing with you, it would have been 8 hours of just depression.
Yeah. That I will share are the food trucks that they had.
Oh, they did that in Boston too?
Yes.
Nice.
So they had food trucks that came out, and on the Saturday, it was so rainy, we didn't want to leave the con.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, miserable rain. And so they had been parking them like outside in this like courtyard, but they brought them underneath an awning.
Oh,
like
nice.
the drive-through, like they closed off that part of the convention center and had them parked like right near the doors. And another highlight, and I wish I had written down the name of the truck. It was a mac and cheese truck.
Oh, that's your fave.
And that's
your love language.
I had buffalo chicken mac and cheese.
Really? Was it delicious?
It was
amazing, I'm sure. Yeah.
Good. It was so good. Oh,
I love a good con.
This is really cool.
Oh, here we go.
So the other day, there was a person on the BGG Facebook group.
Okay.
And they were making a list of cons all throughout everywhere. Like international.
Not just San Antonio. I mean, not just Texas.
Not just Texas.
It was
but
international.
All of the United States by region and international that they could research and find. And we are now on that list.
210 Game Con, baby.
It is official. Like, I mean, it's been official.
Well, yeah, but to be put on a list with Essen, like the Germany, like that's impressive. Like our name's next to, some massive con.
I know.
Now we need to make it happen and make it amazing, and it will be. Truly it will be, but yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah, well, when I saw that, I was
We're
like...
legit.
I did a screenshot, and I sent it, and I was like squealing like a schoolgirl.
Well, that's like, I sent y'all a picture of the podcast, because I have the setup, and it's in my login. And so I sent y'all a picture. I said, look, guys, we're international. Somebody in India has listened to our podcast, and I could not be more excited.
God bless them.
I'm sorry that you had nothing better to do at 3 a.m., but we appreciate you listening.
I hope you got something out of it.
I hope you got
something. Enjoyment. Yeah.
And you listened to another one. But yeah, so now we're international on the podcast.
I love
Who
it.
knew?
I love it. So let's take another minute, too, to talk about your new podcast.
Oh, dear. Okay.
If you want to listen to a real podcast...
This is real.
No, this is amateur. This is
amateur
hour. This is open mic night. So, but if you want to listen to a real podcast,
yes,
you need to tune into, like, give a little spiel here for your
So
podcast.
I just started hosting a new podcast. It's available everywhere that you could download your podcast, wherever you want to listen. So Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music. You can find it on YouTube as well. I have a channel on there that you can either stream. I do not have video because no more video for me, but it does have the podcast. Yeah, she has to bribe me to do these videos. But so you can stream the podcast through YouTube as well, and a couple other places. But those are the main ones. It is called How Did I Miss That? And it is a super quick 4 to 5 minutes. I do that bi-weekly, so on Tuesdays and Fridays it comes out into your feed, and it's just about all the random stuff that I should probably know by now, but I just haven't learned. So the first episode that kind of kickstarted it. I had woken up at like 5:30 in the morning and could not go back to sleep because my brain was just on overdrive and thinking about I want to do another podcast. This is what I want to do. And it just kind of came to me that a week prior I was watching a TV show. I don't even know what I was watching. And they said something about Liza Minnelli being Judy Garland's daughter. And I thought, how did I miss that? I'm 44 years old. And how do I not know that Judy Garland was her mom, was Liza's mom? Like, that's crazy. And so I thought, surely, I can't be the only one. And I thought, this is a really interesting idea. And my husband is full of, as I call them, useless but maybe interesting facts. And so he said, I cannot believe I have been preparing for this podcast for you my entire life. He said, I have an endless number of ideas for you to do.
And he continues to give her ideas.
Oh, like on the daily.
I love it.
Yeah. on the hourly.
Derek is even giving you a couple of ideas.
Derek every now and then he'll send me some idea and it'll say #UnderRockLiving, because I talked about that in the podcast that I apparently live under a rock and don't know these things. But anyway, so new podcast. How did I miss that? Available wherever you stream. There's 2 episodes out and I'm working on one. It will release tomorrow morning at like 7 a.m. So you can catch me your quick 4 minutes in the morning drive.
And it's beautiful too. Like I listened to it, the first one, and I called Lisa immediately and I was like, this is what this hobby is supposed to be. Like, it's legit. Give it a listen.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Watch and share.
And this Thursday, what is today? I don't even know. Today is April Fool's.
Today is April Fool's Day, but no jokes in all of this.
No jokes.
Unless you want something to be a joke, and then I guess take it as
there are no jokes.
We didn't play a prank on anyone.
We didn't play. That's okay.
That's all right.
I'm not a big April
prankster.
Fool's.
Yeah.
My daughter is.
Yeah, she is.
Before the end of the day, there will be shenanigans. However, so today's the 1st.
Right.
Let me do some math. 2nd, 3rd, 4th.
The 4th,
The 4th. This Thursday at 6:30, we will be at Black Potion. Right. And I think all 4 of us will be there, right?
We're going to try. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the group's going to be there. We're going to have lots of games, open gaming. If you have something you want to play, let us know so that we can prep and have it ready for you and see if we can get a group together. But yeah, we're looking forward to that too. We missed the last one because we were in Boston.
Yeah, y'all were in Boston.
And I really I know I text you at least twice, 2-3 times.
She was interrupting my game night. How's it going? What are you doing? What are you playing? Who all's there? Goodness, lady, I'm playing a game.
I even text her from the plane. Like I did the little Wi-Fi. Not
so like fancy.
Not the one you pay for. Oh heavens, no! But like the one that's like the iMessage or whatever. Right. And I was like, I'm texting you from the plane. How is it going?
And it was going great. We had a great time. So we hope to see a lot of people out at Black Potion. That I have a new game that I want to bring. So, and we'll talk about it the next podcast.
Oh,
but yeah,
I'm intrigued.
It's super fun. It's a puzzle game.
Oh,
and you know me.
Yes.
You know me in Tetris puzzles. It's all about that. So yeah, but we'll talk about that next time. So
okay, great.
Great con recap.
Yes.
And the good kind, not the bad.
And I've been waiting to have this conversation. She wouldn't talk to me about it either.
And you wouldn't talk to me about PAX either.
No.
I don't know anything until right now. And then I'm going to have to wait till the YouTube.
And you still don't know much.
I still don't. Y'all have been tight-lipped. So yeah, so I'm hoping that we will all learn more about PAX in the upcoming days when the videos come out. So look for that. But we have covered it.
Yeah, I think so.
So thank you guys for tuning in. Tell your friends and neighbors. Share us all around the web. If you need anything from us, you can always find us at www.210gamecon.com. You can send us an email about ideas. I know a friend of mine has given us some ideas of things that she would like to hear. So you can send those to us either through our Facebook socials or Instagram, or you can email us at info@210gamecon.com. But otherwise, GGWP.
Good game well played.
Bye, guys.
Bye.